A chance for Louth to put the memories of 2010 behind them as they face Carlow at Portlaoise in what was perceived to be the easier part of the draw in Leinster. 5 championship debutants on Peter Fitzpatrick's side, and an interesting battle in midfield in prospect between Louth's Paddy Keenan and Carlow's Brendan Murphy, the former Australian rules footballer. The last time the sides met was in 2009 when Louth won by 2 points at Parnell Park and Carlow were chasing their first championship win since beating Wicklow in 2006. Louth got an early opportunity to get a goal, but Liam's Shevlin's shot was saved at point-blank range by Carlow keeper Trevor Riley. Indeed, it was Carlow who were on the score sheet first, as Paddy Hickey scored after just 6 minutes, having been set up by Brian Murphy. Louth were level 2 minutes later as Shane Lennon scored impressively from distance with the left boot, the ball sailing serenely over the Carlow crossbar. Carlow, though, were good in the opening half, and tenacious tackling added to some neat passing set up this point for Sean Gannon and put Carlow 3 points to 1 ahead. Louth scored points from Brian Donnelly, Paddy Keenan, but Carlow scored 3 of their own for Brian Murphy, and 2 from St. Ledger meant that Carlow were leading now by 6 points to 3. A lot was expected from the captain, Paddy Keenan, but he had a quiet first half, but did manage to get on the score sheet to cut the margin to 2 points. But Louth would then hit with a sending off just before half-time. Desi Finnegan, already shown a yellow card, tripped Sean Gannon and knew immediately he was in trouble. Referee Derek Fahey then showed a second yellow card and then the red. Down to 14 men, Louth finished the half 3 points in arrears. But despite being down to 14, Louth came out strongly in the second half and began to cut into the Carlow lead. Shane Lennon landed 2 frees and Derek Crilly then leveled up the game at 8 points apiece. It was all Louth now. Paddy Keenan, a Lennon free, and this fisted point by substitute Ronan Carroll meant that the wee county had hit the front for the first time in the game, and it seemed at that point they'd go on to win. Shane Lennon had a big influence in the Louth performance, and he put over some great frees and also some fine scores from play. This one again left-footed, and now Louth led by 3. But 7 minutes to go, this monstrous sideline from Brendan Murphy was the catalyst for a stunning Carlow comeback. It was the point of the day. Murphy was in tremendous form today, and this point from play put 1 between the sides. Another great free from corner forward Daniel St. Ledger drew the sides level right on the stroke of the 70. Then in injury time, the surging run by Paul Cashin set up Carlow's winner. Quick passing, and Murphy proved to be the winner as this thumping point deep into injury time put Carlow back in front. From the kick out, the final whistle blew as 5 long years waiting for a championship win came to an end for Carlow, winning in Portlaoise on a scoreline. Carlow 14 points, Louth 13.
Louth presented a massive obstacle, being Division 3 champions, players like Donnelly and Keenan middle of the field. You know, it's as good a midfield as you could get, and players like Shane Lennon. So now we can just take stock of the victory today and get ready for a formidable Wexford team by all appearances. 125, 124 and 218 scored in the last 2 matches. So it doesn't matter. For Carlow, it's a huge lift. It's an injection for Division 4 football teams, and it restores my faith in the provincial championship.
In fairness to Carlow, they kept plugging away. The point that Murphy got there with 10 minutes to go from the sideline was an inspiration point. We had an opportunity today to win the game, and there's no complaints. I know it's Carlow's first win since 2006. I wish them all the best. I wish they believed in themselves. I think they've got a fantastic chance of getting Wexford. I think they've got a great chance of getting to a Leinster final, and the best luck to them.
Yeah, so well done to all of the Carlow lads. We've had a tweet. They're all watching in a premises in Barrack Street in Carlow, so enjoy your night, lads. Some win for them, Martin.
Fantastic win altogether, it must be said. When you look over the last couple of years, Des, 2 years ago it should be noted that they just lost to Louth by 2 points in the first round of the Leinster Championship. It went on subsequently to get walloped by Donegal. Last year, the disaster against Wicklow and again against Derry, I think, in the qualifiers. This year, their Division 4 form was, mid-table, I think. But with two players of the calibre of Brendan Murphy and Tommy Walsh, they're always going to be formidable. And with the sending off of Desi Finnegan coming into half-time, I think you saw the freshness and a little bit of extra energy that Carlow had at the end, saw them over the line. Like the last 4 points were scored by Carlow.
And it's great scores. Great
scores, long-distance, quality kicks. And it's a tribute to Luke Dempsey for sticking with them over the last number of years. And I feel myself in one respect too, that maybe Louth took their eye off the ball a little bit. When they saw the draw at the beginning of the year, they didn't probably give Carlow the respect it deserved. But those scores from Brendan Murphy there, that last one in particular is beautifully constructed and wonderfully finished by Murphy. Note there was no panic in that whatsoever. They saw the right man who was in form at the time. They got the ball to him and eventually he did the business for them. But overall, as Luke said there in his interview, a great day for Division 4 teams, a great day for Carlow, and hopefully now, a local derby against Wexford next day out.
You were impressed with some of their scores there, Pat.
It was great. But there was an article during the week from somebody from the Waterford County Board suggesting that because of the weaker teams getting so many hammerings, that they should reactivate the Tommy Murphy Cup and play the weaker counties. But I think that's a stupid move, because it's a retrograde step, because the only way weak teams will improve is by playing better teams of a better quality. I've always maintained that in Ireland there are 15 players in every county as good as the next, and the difference, given the commitment, the key is belief. But what you saw today, too many teams go out and say, Asher, we're going to be beaten, and they set up their old defensive negativity and their blanket defences, and they lack belief. But what you had there today was a team who believed, and a team who carried the game to the opposition and got their reward.
Well, of course, it begs questions about Louth now, how they pick it up. And it brings us, I suppose, to the draw for the first round of the qualifiers that we had here in RT earlier. And I wonder, was this bound to happen? Look at it. Here's the draw for the qualifiers made today. Louth against Meath, a repeat of that dramatic Leinster final. The other matches you see there, Laois versus Tip, Antrim versus Westmeath, Clare versus Down, London Fermanagh, Cavan versus Longford, the local derby there. Sligo go to Wicklow and Offaly at home to Monaghan. Now, Martin, is that a good draw for Louth?
I think it's a fantastic draw. I think the whole country will want to see that game between Louth and Meath, the repeat of last year's Leinster final. And basically it gives Louth the opportunity to reverse the injustice that was visited on them last year. And it also, from Banty's point of view, it gives him his last opportunity to do something with Meath. And just looking back on the pictures of last year, it's like a bad dream, I'm sure, every time Louth see.
Commentators are Kevin McStay and Darragh Maloney.